every Kenyan must be ready to serve in any part of the country. Nobody. Who gave you life so that he can take it away? It's only God who gave you life. So let us feel empowered. The country belongs to us. And there is enough security. I believe the security agencies are doing everything in their best to deal with the issues in Mandera, Garissa, Lamu, and a few other areas.
Walimu wapitie training ya bunduki na wote wawe na bunduki. Ndiyo tuweze kuwa na ulinzi kuanzia kwa mwalimu mwenyewe mpaka kwa ile surrounding yake, sababu tumegundua kwamba hata polisi wanaogopa kutoka usiku wakijua kwamba Al-Shabaab wanakuja.
No, it is not allowed. That is not permissible, because a classroom situation is a center of inculcating values. The meaning of walking to the classroom with a gun is instilling violence, a thinking of violence among the learners. And I don't think that is the objective of schools.
Well, different views have been gathered by leaders all over the country in regards to this. Omboka Milemba, we've just heard you actually pushing for, armament of teachers. I'd give you a right to reply over here because, I mean, yes, security is very important, but having in mind that pupils, students actually go to get knowledge in school and values as well, don't you think that statement might not be in the right sense of approach?
Thank you very much. I think the situation in Northeastern and the surrounding is desperate. And today I engaged the teachers of Kenya to give me their views about what can be done. I was very specific to them that what could be the long-lasting solution. And the answers I've seen through my networking are desperate. Some of them rank from take all the teachers who are from around Northeastern to go and teach in that area. I think they have the belief that maybe the ones from outside are being killed because they are not of that area. Other desperate measures that I've seen in form of answers have been that what do we do? Let all the teachers who have trained in Northeastern area be employed immediately by TSC to serve in those areas. Others have been very desperate as to say that we could actually reduce the pass mark, but that has not also earned a lot of significance because there are those who are arguing that quality of education is important, and as per Section 46 of the Constitution, the children of Northeastern could ask the Kenyan government that what happened to us that we were told by teachers were not qualified. Now, my answer on arming the teachers was also such an answer that tries to fix the issue of Northeastern insecurity menace. And we have a situation whereby we know that even when a tourist comes to Kenya, he will be taught how to handle the local community in the Masai Mara, know how to walk around, take care of himself. That statement was not just mere gun giving to the teachers, but it was a holistic training for the teacher who is going to work in Northeastern. How is he trained in terms of security issues, deal with the local people, including, if possible, going through training of armament so that he can protect himself from these militia? We have a lot of information because we deal with teachers directly, and the teachers in Northeastern tell us that even the police there, when they know that there'll be an attack, they tell them that this gun of mine is meant to protect me and not protect you. So tomorrow, if the attack is tomorrow, it's God, everybody for himself and God for us all. I want to tell Kenyans that we also have further information that there's no attack that happens before the local people know, and some teachers who are friendly with the local people do know. When we talk to the teachers, in the last incidents where we lost a good number of teachers, they told us, hey, the teachers who died did not listen to us. So we asked them, where did you go? They told us we slept in the bush. And where is the police? The police told us they will not come. You must survive on your own.
All right.
So I'm telling you, that is one of the desperate measures that can be put in place to actually secure the teachers in Northeast.
All right, thank you, Milemba. Let's cross over to Collins Omundu. You have worked in Northeastern area previously. I mean, data can be, inculcated in that particular region. Just give us a picture of the sense of the state of affairs on the ground, especially in terms of the shortage of teachers, because we also have the government coming through and saying, yes, we do have a shortage, but we propose hiring of interns as a solution. We also propose, other issues as well. What do you think of this?
I think the situation, even before the recent terror attack in Kenya, the schools in Northeastern have always, of course, been disadvantaged in terms of getting the desired number of teachers, especially in rural areas like in Garissa, in areas surrounding the Dadaab refugee camp. If you go to schools like in Welmerer and schools elsewhere deep in the villages, you will in most cases miss the necessary number of teachers who can man those schools effectively. So it is a challenge, and this terror attack has worsened the situation because the few patriotic Kenyans who are willing to live in that hostile context had to take off because of the threat on their lives. There is something that is more or less related to the question you've asked, which Governor Ali Roba had alluded to in the interview, when he said that how comes only teachers in the public schools are running away, yet there are teachers in private schools. The reason is simple. Just like you take a case of the Dadaab refugee camp, their schools, the refugee schools are managed by non-governmental organizations, and they have teachers year in, year out. It is because these organizations and private providers of education, they have their own mechanisms of responding to this kind of terror attack. Either they know how to safeguard their teachers in case of impending attack, then they can take them away from the schools, or there's a way they get the information. But I would like to agree with what Honorable Milemba is saying, that these attacks do not occur out of the blues. Somebody somewhere could be having the information, but in most cases, they either don't share it, or if they share it in a manner that is inadequate. But for sure, the police, based on my experience in the refugee camp, the police, in some cases, will not even wish to come in those contexts because, one, they have inferior weapons, and when Al-Shabaab are coming, they come in their tens or in their hundreds, and with superior weapons to bring down the communication masts and take away the guns from the police armories in the region. The only reservation that I had with giving the teachers guns is, at what time will the teacher focus on teaching the children, and at what point in time will he be safeguarding himself? So that the teacher will be more or less doing two roles. Is he a teacher teaching the children to achieve the objectives of the lesson he's teaching, or is he also a security person securing himself? I think at the end of the day, if you put me in that context, I would end up more of the time securing myself than really teaching the children. Thank you, Jess.
All right. As we cross over to Mboko Milemba, I just want to introduce a bite given by the government spokesperson, Colonel Cyrus Oguna, in terms of the teacher shortage facing the country and this specific issue facing the northeastern part of Kenya. Let's listen in.
As part of the government internship program, as other measures are being considered, that Teacher Service Commission is looking at employing trained teachers from this region as interns in this school, so that learning can proceed.
Honorable Milemba, let me cross over to you. Kupet has been very vocal on the staffing shortage in the region. We had a proposal to lower the entry grade of candidates to teacher training colleges, and it seemed to be a preferred way to deal with the acute shortage of teachers in various marginalized counties. But in 2018, Kupet filed a case against this. Kindly shed more light on this. Are you against this particular move towards affirmative action? And what exactly do you think will cure the teacher shortage crisis? Is it interns, as we've had the government spokesperson say?
I begin with the intern solution. I think that is one of the most cheap and easy said solution. I don't know if the government spokesman had it that interns don't have blood, they are not children of other people, they are not human beings, and they don't also deserve a right to life. Because the solution in Northeastern is not about which type of teacher goes there. It is an insecurity issue which, even if you take there an intern from anywhere, so long as possibly is not from that region, that intern will still be killed and we shall be in the same place. Now, what is the definition of an intern in the context of teaching? An intern in the context of teaching has been defined in law. So what you are calling an intern is not anybody who you can pick, train for 2 days and take to the school. The law says that a person who steps in a class is well defined in law and in the act. He must be trained. Remember, recently we removed all teachers who don't have TS numbers in the schools because of the law. So when you quickly say interns, and you look like you are defining interns as any person without going into law, that again will be a challenge. So let me leave that there and move on to the issue of the court case of 2016. And that was during the reign of, well, I can't, and it's not necessary. That we were arguing the issue of if you lower the quality of the grades of people who are going to college for the sake of teaching Northeastern, then it means that you are compromising the standard quality of education in Northeastern vis-a-vis that of other areas in Kenya. And that is a question that can be answered in the Constitution, Section 46, which talks about consumer rights and how these consumer rights must be protected not only in receiving them, but also in the quality of the service they receive. Education is a service to the children of this country. It's a right to the children of Northeastern, which must be protected. That is where we were. So for the proponents of that issue, I want to tell them further, they could walk away with it, but we gave them our facts and the court ruled on it. But that could also be an iota of trying to secede Northeastern from the rest of Kenya, having their own quality of teachers, quality of education, type of education taught, type of curriculum, and that would be deficit for a state which is unilateral like Kenya is. So for me, the government comes in and it takes me back to the history books of the French Revolution, the social contract. One of the men who talked about the social contract was Jean-Jacques Rousseau, the philosopher. And he said that the people brought governments in order that governments do certain things for them. And one aspect they surrendered to the government, and not this one, was security. That's why Mboko Milemba is not armed anyhow. Because the government has the responsibility of making sure that Mboko Milemba is safe.
Well, your point is definitely across. Interject you, Mboko. In the interest of time, you sit in the Education Committee. Tomorrow, what exactly can we preempt as the TSC CEO, as the Inspector General of Police and the Education Cabinet Secretary face the committee? What exactly can we expect from the deliberations?
Need very sober, clear, including myself and any other players who will be there to get a good, long-lasting solution that will protect the child in the Northeastern to have his right to education and also fix the insecurity and security of the teachers in Northeastern region. Thank you.
All right, as we conclude, Colin Zumundu, we've had from various stakeholders, and we do expect a couple of insights tomorrow as various education stakeholders face the parliamentary group. In your take, how exactly should we approach this? Because on one side, yes, we've said it, it's a security situation in Northeastern, but the quality of education in this region, in this marginalized region, is still being affected. How exactly should we approach this going forward?
I think as a country, we just need a sober debate. Otherwise, I also agree with the Honorable Milemba that if, for example, we say that next Northeastern will now have its own caliber of teachers who are maybe of lower entry behavior from secondary schools into the teacher training colleges and the university faculties of education, then that would be an injustice to those children. Because at the end of the day, if now the children won't be performing any better, the learning outcomes will not be attained by the teachers and the children in the schools, then the children will say, look, for us we were taught by teachers who are of lower entry requirement during their days when they were joined teacher training colleges. Now you cannot tell me I can't study medicine with my C plane or C minus because my teachers were inferior. So I think all the sectors, the government of the county government of these particular 3 regions, they need to be candid enough. One thing that I was surprised about is that all the 3 governors in this particular region, with due respect, were only talking about the children being denied their right to access to education. But then they were silent on the right to life of the teacher. It is as if the teacher should be more or less be sacrificed at whatever cost so that the child of the Northeastern can get an education, which should not be the case. The case is we should find out where the mess is, be candid enough as a country, have a genuine dialogue, and then look at the best options that are sustainable in the long run. The issue of the intern, in the interest of time, I will not wish to talk about it, but it will also open its own can of worms, and it might also backfire on us. Yes.
All right, so we should definitely look at long-lasting solutions, and we do expect, some of the solutions to be fronted tomorrow as the various education stakeholders face the parliamentary group right there in regards to the crisis in education in Northeastern. Honorable Omboko Milemba, the Kupe chairperson, thank you so much for making time, as well as Collins Omundu, who's an education expert. We do appreciate your input right here on The Big Story, not forgetting the conversation our lead reporter earlier on had with Mandera Governor Ali Roba. We do appreciate. Thank you so much for watching The Big Story. We continue shedding light on the Northeastern crisis, the education crisis in this part of Kenya. Will a solution be found? Do stay with KTN News. Good evening.
This is KTN News.
Welcome to the Super Pit, one of the largest open-cut gold mines in the world. It is located in Western Australia at a place known as Kalgoorlie. The Super Pit is managed by Kalgoorlie Consolidated Gold Mines, KCGM. It houses one of the richest gold deposits in the world. The mine is a complex system of underground networks with a history that stretches back over the past 100 years. And because of its history, the Super Pit is like no other mining operation in the world. It is unique in terms of both the work and the experience for miners. A Kenyan mining expert, Stephen Kuria, who is the CEO of Australia Africa Energy and Minerals Institute, and at the same time, the chairman of the Kenya Mineral Rights Board, has worked here before.
I used to manage Kalgoorlie, we call it Super Pit. It's one of the largest super pit in the world. You can see it from the moon. It is unique because it's a mine which people had mined before, actually in late 18th century. And then with the technology, they came and start mining there.
Around 15 million tons of rock is moved from the Super Pit every year.
Also, it's unique because it was part of the gold rush that was in Australia, and it has eaten the town of Kalgoorlie because we find gold every year. Even when I was there, we find gold underneath the town.
The machinery here is massive. Truck tires can weigh up to 5 tons. Australia is the 4th largest mining country in the world after China, the United States and Russia. And there are many opportunities for ties in mining between Africa and Australia, according to Kuria, who is the founder of the annual Africa Oil, Gas and Energy Conference that normally takes place in Perth City.
For instance, now we have a discovery of oil a couple of years ago. We don't have capacity in this country, both extractive, and for our leaders to be able to go and see what happens, because as you know, Australia is the biggest exporter, one of the biggest exporter in energy and also in mining, to see actually on the ground, to be able to visit. And as I chair the board here, I'm seeing we are missing a lot. We, like in the mining industry, we are basically in a forest. We can't even see the light. The systems that collect the leases is not ready. The cadastre system is almost not working. So we are trying to clean that system.
According to Geoscience Australia, in 2016, there were over 370 operating mine sites across the country. Mining in Australia is a major contributor to national GDP, typically accounting for about 7% of total GDP.
Do you lead from the front or do you lead from the back?
I think I try to identify the areas that are of interest. Then I get people who join me, and then they can develop all these areas.
What motivates you?
Well, the motivation is I want to get young people to have the skills of the 21st century.
What do you look for when hiring?
What I'm looking for is young people who have ideals, that they are self-motivated.
As we talk about the BBI, tuchangie, tunase yale mazuri na tuhakikishe yamenaswa kwa yale ya BBI. Ndio wakati referendum inakuja, yale mazuri yote ambayo tunataka yamenaswa vile tulitaka yanaswe.
Utuelekeze Mheshimiwa Spika.
Bungeni vimbu.